Somewhere in Germany, a robot lifts a piece of steel the size of your living room. 17 hours later, that steel is a car, driving itself off the line. 0 parts, 800 suppliers, 40 countries, and it all starts with a flat sheet of metal. This is the full story. Nobody shows you this part. Before we go inside the factory, you need to know one name. Mannheim, Germany. A man named Karl Benz is alone in a shed. No funding, no team, just an obsession. He built a 3-wheeled carriage powered by a gasoline engine, the world's first true automobile. His neighbors called it the devil's carriage. His investors called it a waste of money. His wife Bertha said nothing. She just waited. August 5th, 1888, 5 while Karl slept. Bertha took the car, alone, with their 2 sons. No map, no gas stations, no roads designed for cars. She drove 66 miles to her mother's house. When the fuel ran out, she stopped at a pharmacy and bought Ligroin, a cleaning solvent that worked as fuel. When the brakes wore out, she wrapped her leather shoe around the brake block. She invented brake pads. On the road, that day, newspapers covered it. The world saw the car wasn't just a toy. It worked. That pharmacy still exists today. It as a museum, because one woman's drive changed everything. But mass production, that came from someone else entirely. Henry Ford, 1913. Detroit, Michigan. He didn't invent the car, he invented how to build millions of them. Ford's moving assembly line, workers stay still, the car moves to them. Simple idea, revolutionary result. Before, one car took 12 hours and 28 minutes to build. After Ford's line, 93 minutes. Same car, same workers, different system. He cut the price from $850 to $260 in just 8 years. Workers could afford what they built. By 1918, half of all cars in America were Model T Fords. One design, millions of copies. Fast forward 110 years, the factory looks nothing like Ford's, but the logic is the same. A modern car has over 30 individual parts, coming from 800 suppliers across 40 countries. And it all starts with one thing. Steel. Step 1. Stamping. Steel arrives at the factory in giant coils. Each one weighs 30 tons. That coil gets unrolled and fed into a stamping press. This machine weighs 500 tons. In 1 second, 500 tons of pressure transforms flat steel into a car door. 1 second. Roofs, hoods, fenders, floors, all stamped from flat steel. About 6 seconds each. One stamping plant runs 24 hours a day. It produces 400 parts per hour, every hour. The leftover steel scraps, collected, melted, reused, 0 waste. Step 2. The body shop, where the skeleton is built. The moment the parts arrive, 500 robots wake up. All at once, they weld 50 individual points on every car body. Each weld takes 0 2 seconds. A human welder needs 3 minutes per joint. A robot, 3 seconds. And it never makes a mistake, but robots still can do everything. Humans handle the tightest corners, the most complex angles. After welding, a laser scanner checks every millimeter of the body, 500 measurement points, in 45 seconds. If even 1 point is off by 0.5 millimeters, the car is pulled from the line. At the end of this stage, what was flat steel now looks like a car. Unpainted, raw, real. Step 3. Paint shop. Most people think painting a car means spraying color on it. It has actually 8 hours and 4 separate layers, and color is the last thing that goes on. First, the car body is fully submerged in a tank of electrocoat liquid. Like a giant baptism, electric current pulls the coating into every corner, every hidden seam. Nothing is missed. This first layer protects against rust for up to 12 years, even surfaces you'll never see. Then primer, baked at 180 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Then the base coat, your actual color. Applied by robots in an enclosed chamber, that color you chose from a brochure. Mixed to a thickness of exactly 0.1 millimeters. Finally, clear coat. The glossy protective layer on top. Baked again. Total paint time, 8 hours. The paint shop is the most energy-hungry part of the entire factory. It uses 70% of all electricity. Step 4. General assembly. The beating heart of the entire operation. The line never stops. It moves at exactly 6 centimeters per second, 24 hours a day. Each worker has exactly 60 seconds to complete their task. Then they walk back and do it again. All day. If you miss your 60 seconds, You pull a cord above your station. The line stops. Everyone knows. Toyota calls this the engine cord. It has been in use since 1965, and it is still the most powerful quality tool in manufacturing. First into the car, the dashboard, then 5 kilometers of electrical wiring. Think about that. 5 kilometers of wire folded into your car. If you laid it out, it would stretch across a small city. Then the engine drops in from above. This moment has a name inside every factory in the world. They call it the marriage. Body meets engine. From this second, the car is alive. Then glass. Windshields are glued in, not bolted. The glue is stronger than the glass itself. Then seats, then wheels, then doors. Hung back on at the very end. Wait, doors were removed at the start and hung back at the end. Yes, it is easier to work inside a car without doors. By the time the car reaches the end of the line, over 2.0 pairs of hands have touched it. But where does the engine actually come from? Because it doesn't just appear. Engines are built in completely separate factories. Sometimes in a different country entirely. Inside an engine plant, tolerances are insane. Parts must fit within 0.2 millimeters. That is thinner than a human hair. A human hair is 0.7 millimeters. Engine tolerances are 35 times tighter than that. One engine has over 200 moving parts, every single one machined to that precision. Before any engine leaves the plant, it runs for 20 minutes on a test bench. Full throttle, emergency stop, cold start. If the engine passes, it gets shipped immediately, just-in-time delivery. It arrives at the assembly plant exactly when needed. Step 6, quality control. And this is where the stakes get very high. Every finished car enters a light tunnel, a room lined with 4.0 LED lights. Those lights reveal any paint defect larger than 0.1 millimeters. A scratch you'd never see in daylight, visible here. Then, the water test. 3.0 liters of water poured over the car for 4 straight minutes. Inspectors sit inside while the water runs. If they feel one drop, the car goes back. Then, the road test. Not a sample. Every single car drives 7 kilometers on the factory test track. Cobblestones, steep hills, emergency braking from 60 miles per hour. All inside the factory grounds. If it passes everything, a green tag goes on the mirror. It asks ready for the world. Now the numbers. Because the scale of this industry breaks your brain. In 2023, the world produced 93.5 million cars. That asks one new car every 0.34 seconds. Right now, as you watch this, Toyota alone builds one car every 6 seconds. Across its global network of 67 factories, the largest auto factory on Earth, Volkswagen Wolfsburg. It covers 6.5 square kilometers, 14.0 people work there every single day. 3.800 cars leave that facility every single day. That factory has its own power station, its own railway, its own post office, its own fire department. It is not a factory, it is a city that makes cars. So here is what you now know that most people don't. Your car didn't start in a factory. It started with a woman in a Victorian dress who fixed the brakes with her shoe. 2.0 workers, 800 suppliers, 40 countries, 30.0 parts, 17 hours, all for one car. The steel in your car has probably been something else before, and one day it'll be something new again. The next time you sit in your car, you ray not just sitting in metal and plastic, you ray sitting in 140 years of human obsession. If you want the same breakdown for smartphones, glasses, or money, drop it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.